Hello, and welcome to my channel. Today I thought I'd do something interesting tonight. Um, I've been watching a lot of these, or got addicted a little bit to these TikTok divorce videos where these women, it's mostly women, I've not seen a man yet do it, but that they divorced their husbands of many years and then are happy to do it, and they leave their uh, husbands because of nonsense reasons. And of course, there could be underlying reasons, but oftentimes you read between the lines and you watch between the lines. A lot of this doesn't make sense, and it seemed to be almost an epidemic because these women, it looks like they get on TikTok or similar, look at other videos, get into those videos, start believing these videos, and then start posting their own videos about, oh, I'm going to leave my husband, I deserve more, or whatever, and they get some followers, or they started and then they got followers who made them feel like celebrities or something. Get a little bit of fame, a lot of people posting, you should leave your husband, you should go find your best life. You're too pretty. You're still young and all this stuff. And they actually buy into it, apparently. And then they go through and destroy their lives, their families. And then they end up, most of them, miserable. And there are a lot of channels promoting this or following this kind of thing. And what they do is they go up and get the videos from TikTok, and not just one. And they react to them, but they put them together, and then they talk about the different levels. Not just one channel doing this, 10 of them. And I'm gonna focus on one. HL Talk That Thought here on YouTube, and it's amazing to me that as much goes on as it does. And I'll show you a few examples. Now look at this. Woman divorces husband for Chad. Chad and Tyrone. That's funny. This page uses an AI-like voice, but look at the sheer volume of people they do this to. They go collect, and it's not just one person. It's multiple people, tons of them. And it's on other pages, they have different ones. I mean, other channels, they follow different ones. So it's quite amazing to me that many women are going through this kind of thing. And it seems to be that they're living their life on TikTok. I don't care what their age is, young, old, pretty, not pretty, still have life in them, don't have life in them. It's amazing. And I even saw a 69-year-old woman who was over 70 who wanted to, an Australian woman who was, left her husband because she wanted a better life. She sort of, from the movie Shirley Valentine, looked that up, tried to do something like that, but she didn't do it well. And let me tell you, her life spiraled. She was very unhappy. But look at all those. So anyway, let's go look at some more specific ones. I'm going to start with this lady here. Here we go. I've already talked while watching them, but I'm going to talk some more. Drink coffee and smoke. It stresses me out. I'm going to start with this one because she's just a piece of work. She is the most ungrateful wife. And this has an update video, which is ridiculous.
My life. I have literally never
been married for 3 years.
Depressed. I've never hated another person more than I hate the person that I married.
You got to wonder about that.
Well, I run my ass off and I do
either they were together
for everybody in my life.
Long before they were married.
My kids, him.
Take your kids to football practice.
And works enough. That's it. He works. Yeah, his job's hard. Yeah, his hours suck. But he works. That is all he does. I am in a different town.
Men know this
because I had to take my kids to their football practice. And I asked him to watch our daughter. And you know what he did? He slept. He slept since he got home. What did I do? I did homework. I fed the kids. I took my son to speech. I went to the bank. I paid people to mow my yard because,
homemaking is a hard job, but
I
appreciate my mom now.
Like I said, made sure the homework got done. I got them ready for football. I took them to football.
Now notice she's only been married for 3 years.
When I started realizing I hadn't heard from him, I'm calling and calling and calling and begging for the bare minimum of him to watch our fucking daughter. Excuse my language.
You notice they said kids, and now she watched my daughter.
To watch our daughter, to cut up a watermelon, and to make dinner. I mean, that is absolutely
I never take into consideration the time they spend in this school.
That's not asking for much.
Away.
And it's not even today. It's not even today. Oh, so then when he realizes that he's almost running out of time and we're going to be home soon, he's like, oh, I can't because I don't have this. So you know what a normal person would do? They'd be like, oh, I don't have that.
No, she goes on with this kind of crap. Watch.
He has 30 minutes until
it's unbelievable. She goes on a rant.
When I get my job.
And so she's on this TikTok video complaining about her husband.
On top of working now.
Put this online.
To tell a grown man
her fan,
if he can and can't buy something because he doesn't know how much money we have, because never in his life has he ever downloaded a banking app.
You think her husband was going to see this?
Never has he ever looked at a payslip.
She's talking about all this.
Never has he ever even looked at a bill to see what it costs. So yeah, he might.
And you know this is a lie.
The financial weight.
He had a life before you.
Who makes the grocery list?
He had bills.
Who makes sure we have food.
Even if
so
his mom paid him.
Who makes sure he has this, that, and everything else.
This rant goes on and on.
And then another.
And so she posted the video, and of course he left her.
Other than that, he's been gone. I think he was here during the day once or twice while I wasn't here.
And he came home.
He needs to get his stuff.
She was not there.
He hasn't did that.
To avoid her.
He last saw the
really
kids.
Destroyed that
Wednesday
man.
Night. He saw the kids Monday
evening. Really did.
He had dinner with them. But since then, he hasn't. And he had yesterday off, and he didn't get a hold of him at all or anything like that. And our daughter didn't have school or anything like that.
So anyway,
he needed a day
it continues this kind of crap.
I'm
going to say crap because that's exactly what it is. Long
but I'd say
rants of videos.
4-year-old is taking things.
Then all of a sudden she's broke.
Husband is irresponsible. Let's watch.
Okay, I had a mini breakdown this morning. I was losing my crap, but I was like, I can sit here and I can keep crying, or I can get up and do something. A sweet friend of mine came along and offered me money to file for my divorce, so my $185.
So she gets $185 for a divorce.
I filed for divorce today, officially.
From a friend because she can't afford it.
Order paperwork that I can fill out. I just had a kid that was getting
and it's all this ridiculousness. Goes on and on and on and on, and then she talks bad about him. She basically destroyed the man's life. He was a worker, a hard worker, and then he finds out his wife says all this stuff about him. Breaks up, he's got to move out, he's got to do all the other stuff. And he just goes into a downward spiral. And this thing is, that's funny. And I did write something. Notice that she never says her husband left and cleared out the bank account. She never said he was controlling, keeping her penniless. She never suggests that. Why couldn't she use their money to file for divorce? He supposedly had a 6-figure income. He never says her husband left her high and dry. He even had plans on weekends and was upset that he might not take her, might take the children. Read between the lines and you'll see her for what she really is. And that is the truth. These kind of people, none of what they say makes sense. I mean, when you read between the lines and look beneath the surface. Look at this, another one.
That it does not ever get
And on
better.
HL,
Like
Talk
ever.
That Thought. Check that out. If you're into this
They
kind of
break
stuff, and I
you
don't know why I'm watching
in a way
all this
that no
crap.
other person ever could. But you still love
Popcorn drama.
It's been less than 24 hours and I'm a f***ing mess. This is hard.
Welcome back, family.
Look
Today,
at this,
we will
get
review
on and
this
on and
modern
on.
woman who falls into a deep depression after deciding to leave her 15-year-old marriage.
15-year-old
Let's start
marriage.
by understanding the real reason her marriage ended.
Do you admit that you're crazy?
If I'm completely honest, yes.
And she talks,
I've been
she's
called
about
crazy
about
several
crazy.
times in relationships.
And
I'm also
and she gets into
telling
things,
you
weird
that's the reason why I
things,
was
and
called
goes on,
crazy.
and they keep making these videos.
Always taller than I am.
And they got their hair done, and they think,
Exceptionally athletic.
I'm going to
All
go
in all.
back, look at
And
this.
for a very long time, built in me that it is the only kind of man I find attractive, period.
Talk about attractive man,
I was
period.
married to this
I was
type of man for a
Married to
very
this type
long
man for a
time,
very long time.
and we all know how that ended. The type
Know how
is
that
as
ended.
follows. Always tall. Like
Always
always
tall.
taller than I am. Bearded. Exceptionally athletic.
Type.
All in
Exceptional.
all rugged man, like a Grizzly Adams man. The reason why this sucks is because I hate all of it. I hate doing those things. I hate it. Hiking? No, thank you. Mountain climbing? No. Hunting? Fat no. But I'll never stop you from doing it, and I'll support it.
Now, let
I'll
me
stay on
out.
Crochet.
This is just the tip of the iceberg on how much this woman is lazy. She wants a top-tier man like they all do, but doesn't want to do any work on getting or keeping a man like that. We can all imagine what her husband went through during those 15 years of marriage.
Another
Now,
pet
before we
peeve of
watch her
mine,
crying
big
and
pet
regretting
peeve,
why she left her husband
is these
thinking that she could
women,
do better by
they
herself.
get on
Let me show you
TikTok,
how much of an attention seeker
they get
she
on,
really is. She even
these
complains
things,
about the lack of
and,
attention from her own damn kids.
see other people filming in cars, laying down on their
One
bed,
day,
filming themselves
it moments
down,
already stopped.
down. And then they're doing it too.
They
They're
call it like
mimicking
you.
what they've
Just a couple.
seen.
That stops.
And they get on there, and
They
it's
start
really
running up
ridiculous.
to you after work.
And yeah, it's ridiculous. They do exactly what they've seen. And they continue.
Choose to let it affect my life so that I don't have to
And
do
they do it
things for the rest
all.
of my
They do
life,
all
and I
this
can
kind of ridiculous
make money
stuff.
myself. I made $1,500 this month at work. I can't pay my rent. I can't buy groceries. I've been using the food bank like a fucking loser. I can't do
Yeah, there's
anything.
not two incomes anymore.
How is this okay?
Look at that.
It's not.
Her situation got so bad that she had to move back in her parents' basement, and that affected her children in the worst way.
Yeah.
I will show a conversation between her and her teenage daughter. I want you to focus on her daughter's
I'm
body
gonna
language,
I'm gonna
and guess
record
what she
this
has
part.
been
Let's
doing.
look at it.
My daughter
Very
just came in my
important.
room. I'll have her tell you what she just asked me for. What do you need?
Mom, I need everything you have for a satanic ritual. Okay.
Okay, so what do you want?
Everything you have for a satanic ritual.
But I don't think I have anything.
I need anything.
Okay, but what is the satanic ritual for? To do what? This will be news to me.
I don't know.
Living in her
Don't
parents'
know why you're
basement.
summoning the Dark Lord?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh god, you're fucking weird.
You guessed it right. Her daughter is doing drugs just like her mother. Instead of focusing on being a parent and discipline her child, she is focusing on being the cool mom.
Daughter, quick question. Would you consider me a cool mom?
I mean, yeah.
Why would you ask your kid
I'm
that?
sorry, what was that?
I said yeah.
Oh, I guess I am.
I'm not gonna.
This woman destroyed her daughter's life so much to the point that the state had to intervene and move the daughter to go live with her father for rehabilitation.
Yeah.
So a quick rundown of what's going on right now.
And
My
that kind
daughter
of
went
thing
to live
goes
with her
on.
dad for an undisclosed.
It's ridiculous. And of course, I had to respond, even though it was a year ago that this was posted. And and one of the things she talked about was her husband not doing the little things for her anymore, hugging you, walking, going up with flowers. And I wrote, you say the man stopped doing all the little things for you, but you leave out the part where you stop doing them too. Men get tired of going down a one-way street, tired of giving without getting, tired of being expected to perform, while you sit on the couch watching TikTok videos, eating bonbons, or raiding the kids' Halloween candy. You say you want a top-tier man, buff, toned, driven, but you didn't make that effort in return. You didn't match the energy. You just expected the perks without paying the price. Move on to a different video. Oh, this one's a real winner.
And I hate it. I hate it so much. I miss being a wife. It was simpler. I don't know what I'm supposed to do now, or where I'm supposed to go.
He got married at 24.
I'm scared about the future, and this is hard.
I don't know how long she was married, but
How'd I do?
Welcome back, family. Sometimes people can hide their crazy attitudes by portraying themselves as decent human being. But sometimes they can just display all their craziness right in front of your face. The latter is exactly the kind of person we are going to see.
If you've ever seen, they've got these
this modern woman
people on
to leave her marriage thinking
making
that she'll
videos.
find better. Well, let's start
Usually
by
from other
watching how the
countries, they're
dating
called
market
face
quickly humbled
dancers,
her.
where they do
Even after a
these
divorce is insane.
posed looks
It
and
sucks. It feels like
expressions
my
like
brain was hardwired
characters
to
from anime
be a
or
wife,
animated
and
films
that's what
like
I signed up
Frozen,
for, was to
where they
be
got this
someone's
look, and this
drug person.
girl
Like,
is
I don't
doing
understand
this exact thing.
how
And I say
men
girl because I'm an old man,
taking
and I call
pull.
women girls when they're
Understand how to be
probably
casual.
older than
Like,
me.
I got Chloe
I
married
apologize for that. I don't mean anything by it.
24. I thought I would be with that
But
person forever.
if you watch 'em,
and
watch
now
the
I'm
quirk
out here
of the
learning
mouth,
what a situationship is. I hate
watch
it.
their
I hate
hand
it
expressions,
so much.
the way they do their eyes, they paint
Don't
around their
listen to your
eyes
friends unless
to
you're
exaggerate.
serious. Like, I'm not going to understand the
They
nuances
start
of
doing
this
this.
all. And I
If you
feel
looked
like
at
I'm
Frozen or something like that, they're doing
simultaneously
these
ahead of the game,
exaggerated
and then you get
things
people
and
that are
these
freaked out that I was
quirky
married at one
mouth
point.
movements.
There's just no winning.
This one is
I miss being a wife.
really big on
Simpler.
that.
Of course, you miss being a wife. All you're thinking about now are the benefits you get for being a wife and not the responsibilities. This is the problem with the modern woman. It's always about what she can get from the relationship while completely disregarding everything else. They really think that life should always be rainbows and sunshine
they always think
all
it's
the time.
all sunshine.
The real reason
And she gets on doing these
Child.
other things with spike collars.
Once again going to just do what most people do to me, and I'm
And then she finds out she's getting
so here's
as this
hoping
channel often
for-
says, but with Chad and Tyrone
See you
getting
soon.
pumped and dumped.
He cheated on me. Oh, don't.
And they're trying to
Don't worry.
appear to be so happy and
Chad and Tyrone had absolutely
Chad
no
and Tyrone.
mercy on this woman. They kept on pumping and dumping her on repeat and back to back.
yeah,
There was
that always
no
makes me
tomorrow.
laugh. I know it's an AI or a fake
I had been
automated
really
voice, but you know,
and
it's quite charming to me. It's a good, even with the problems with whatever the pronunciation or the
I'm
phrasing.
really proud to say that
Look, watch your face.
I'm okay. It's okay.
See?
I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea.
I'm
But I'm going to be
okay.
someone's shot
And then,
of whiskey. And
You want to use
And
tooth
that's okay.
tooth whitener.
this is self-improvement, guys.
There you go.
We are learning. We are learning and getting there. Well, I don't have their official reasons yet. I'm gonna guarantee it has
There's some
something to
guy
do with
broke
the
up
fact
with
that
her.
I'm comprised of chaos energy. But that will eventually be wife energy.
Quirk of the
so-
mouth.
And until then, I like who I am. Have a great day, guys. We are going to fall back in love with our lives by force this year.
Fall back in love with your life.
And so she does all this stuff.
Really? Well, you
And
thought
it's
that you could just divorce your
and then she
husband
finally
and
gets
pick
to the
another
point
man
where
from a
she
tree so he
realizes
could
she's
commit to
getting
you
pumped and dumped,
become your new husband.
and she says, well,
But I think it's more fun for me if I don't at this point. Like, I know the algorithm knows me. I know I'm not the only one experiencing this problem, where every single date that you go on, it's like, let's have an amazing situationship. And I'm like, I'm perfect. What are you doing right now? As long as they don't see
the bob of the head.
talk, I'm perfect. So you know what? We're leaning into it
There.
now. I'm just going to enjoy the ride. I'm going to get fully delusional. I'm going to create fake scenarios in my head. I'm going to enjoy them. So if that's what's going to
Ridiculous.
get me through this year.
And so she says, I'm just going to have sex. Look at that expression. You look up Frozen, you'll find this kind of thing. Anyway, I had to respond, even though it was done a year ago. You married at 24, neon hair, piercing, spike collars, a little loud, a little round, a little too unique for the average man. And that was the point. To stand out, to be different, to be unapologetically her. But here's the thing, the more unique you are, the smaller the pool of people who can truly accept you. Husbands are hard to find, harder to keep. And when you dump the one who already accepted you as you are, you may have just let go of the only man who ever truly would. And that is probably the sad truth. You find somebody later, and hopefully she will, because she's going to be a lonely woman with too many cats. Poor cats. And this one's a real charmer.
I've just realized that I have become a single 30-year-old
And
mom
again,
who's driving in a Dodge Caravan, checking out other men.
no tears. As I keep saying,
Oh my gosh, you have
there's
no idea
no
what it feels
tears.
like.
No real
It's
tears.
such a beautiful thing when you can take accountability
Real tears.
for what you've done.
Look at that cleft in her
And
chin.
grow and learn
There's a
from
lot of makeup she
Welcome
needs to
back,
put on.
family. Today we are going to understand why it is
Look at
very
that
important
mess.
to not try to turn a hoe into a wife. By reviewing this modern woman who decided to leave her marriage just to be humbled by the hardship of life. Let's first hear her BS reason for leaving the marriage. Now, this video is not a stitch with another person. She is actually reacting to her own video. Let's watch.
Reacting to your own video.
With you a lot, and find myself thinking that I never want to meet her again. Not because she wasn't kind or loving, because we
Talk about
both know her love
meeting
fell
herself
down on
again.
you like rain droplets. Even on days you tried to stay dry, but because when she needed the same
the thing
love
about this
herself, she often found herself
woman
in a drought.
Is you could
Her
tell she
identity
found
became
some
a
fame on
chameleon,
TikTok
changing colors to reflect whatever
and
mood,
got
blending
people
into
saying,
your
"Oh, you're
life
gorgeous,
just
you're
to
young
stay a
looking,"
part of
and
it.
she is with a lot of makeup.
She felt good enough, even though she was enough and more,
And,
and the minimum is what she allowed herself to beg for.
It just
I never want to meet
continues
that girl
on this
again.
path.
I cannot imagine.
Talks about how the
another
husband
day
was
where I
not
did
bad,
strive
but
for the
she was
absolute
wanted to
maximum
find
of
herself
what I
again.
deserve.
I cannot believe that this woman is talking about striving for the absolute maximum of what she deserves. I will just let her and
Look
her
at
best
this.
friend tell you the
That's
type
her
of
and her
women they
friend.
really are.
Moms, both moms, and they're young,
Oh my
30
God.
years old.
And you tell
Out having
me
a
if
good
these types
time
of women
in a car.
deserve anything. They party, get
And then
drunk
in the
while
bathroom.
recording
Look at
themselves,
that.
as you can see here. This is what most modern women mean when they say, "I want to find myself." And again,
Mom's
I do
gone
not
crazy.
care what these selfish, irresponsible types of women
And they're
do.
putting this
But the
online.
problem starts when
Then
these
they get
women
the
have
kids
children
in them.
and start to use their children as emotional tampons.
Yeah,
Look at how
they
she put
start
her
to use their
in the
children as
spot
emotional
so that they can give her
tampons,
the
right.
validation she craves. Because
And they
deep
get the
down,
kids on
she
the
knows that
screen
she
and they
deserves
start
more.
asking, "What do you think about me?
You look at me.
What do you see about me?" And they keep prompting them over and over and over about how I look. What do you think about me? And putting this kind of thing on TikTok.
What else do you see when you
And he'll follow this up with a car
What
one.
else do you guys see?
Kind heart.
Can you picture a dad
Look at her real
switching
skin.
on his
Look
camera
right there.
and asking his kids what they think of him? Ridiculous.
Look at the pock marks.
This woman
Look at
does it
the
so many times, as you can read here in the caption, because she knows how damaged
all the
she
issues.
really is. And her ex-husband actually tried to save
She doesn't
her.
look
Now,
as young as
before
she
the tears of
did.
regrets, let me just show you one more clip
Now
of
she's
her
got her own
blaming
podcast.
all her bad decision-making to her so-called childhood trauma, so that you guys can understand how it
I want
usually
to play this
starts.
part.
Because when I was younger, all I did was try to date because of my thought that I wasn't enough. So I was people pleasing. I wanted to be enough. I wanted to be chosen because I never was chosen. I was given away. I was rejected. So what I wrote in my music, I was like, love me, choose me, want me, desire me, please. I want to be wanted so bad. Somebody want me.
Right.
So then that's my childhood. That was my teenage, was trying to fill that void.
Right.
So even when I was single and learning,
What she's
actually talking about is most of our childhoods. And maybe her parents divorced and one didn't, gave her up to the other, whatever the heck. We're going through the trauma of teenage years, which I think most of us did, and wanting to be fit in, wanted to be whatever. What she's talking about is ridiculous. She was obviously a pretty good looking girl. She might have been bad when she was a kid. Who the hell knows? But she's ridiculous.
actually trying to say is that she let everybody bust her down.
And then here.
While driving.
And she's
in a
talking about
a suburban subdivision. I am a single 30-year-old woman.
no tears.
3 children driving a minivan, checking out other dads.
Don't want to mess the makeup up,
Okay,
you know.
this is where my life is.
Yes, this is what your life is now.
Yeah.
You chose
Driving
this
a
life.
job caravan,
just happen by
looking
accident.
for
It's amazing
love,
how
but in
these
all the
women
wrong
make-
places. And this one, she finds herself.
Oh my gosh.
She says she let it go, whatever.
To just finally let go. I forgive him.
Forgive him.
Thankful for him.
I'm so thankful for him.
Even the bad. Because, man, if I didn't experience it, I wouldn't even know who I would be.
So that kind of thing is ridiculous.
him.
She goes on for a long time
love
talking
myself
about this
more.
stuff.
Because of him.
And then watch something else
I
she comes
learned-
up with.
Find someone else, as she mentioned in the clip. Here is a quick video she posted a few days later.
Don't fuck with me, fellas! This ain't my first time at the rodeo.
Now you tell me if that sounds like someone who is in a good place mentally. The real reason she posted this video of her crying, making it look like she is taking accountability for her past actions, is because she has a new podcast, and she is trying to grow her male audience over there.
Hey.
Typical chameleon behavior tactic. Fellas, stay away from
Yeah, this kind of thing. And it's, of course, I had to respond to it. You're not a single mom. You're a divorced mom. There's a difference. A single mom raises her kids alone. No shared custody. No weekends off. No co-parent to tag in. You have a man sharing the load. You are not abandoned. You're not solo. You're just not married anymore. It's your choice to find your better life when you probably already had that better life. And that's okay, but let's not rewrite the script to make the spotlight warmer and directed at you, a minor celebrity, for those with minor minds. Interesting.
18 years of marriage.
Interesting.
I've taken them off and they're not going back on. I don't care if his so-called
And I go through all this kind of
girlfriend
stuff.
or whatever she's calling herself these days sees this.
It's just one of those
I don't care who sees it.
typical women.
So,
now watch her. She's
just now
in a car.
I'm moving on.
And you'll find her probably laying on the bed.
I love my job, and I'm going to do this.
And she loves her job.
You know,
but
I think it's kind of funny how
I'm proud of how you handle disappointment.
no one
Don't
from work
disappear
has
when you feel
really checked on me.
Welcome back, family.
Yeah, she's.
Today we are going to review this
No one from work has really
54-year-old
checked on
strong,
her. 54
independent
years
woman
old.
who decided to divorce her husband so that she can explore life. Well, as usual, she was quickly humbled and greeted by the mighty wall with absolutely no mercy. Let's start by watching the day she decided to divorce.
Well,
And then she divorces.
today's the day.
Got her makeup on and all that.
All the way to Arizona.
Got in a car.
On my way to Marshall,
Got
Michigan.
her necklaces out of her sweater so you could see them. And all that.
Who we hadn't been getting along for a while now, but
And she goes through all this usual bullshit.
came down with COVID.
I'm sorry, but I gotta say this. This woman,
Me being
that's how
a nurse.
long videos.
Things in relationships. Most accomplished men do not care about how independent you are. That's just called being an adult. This next clip will show you exactly how social media and single friends validate bad behaviors and push women to break their marriages so that they can all be miserable.
Yeah.
Because we all know that misery loves company.
I want to thank you all for the
Thank you for all the positive
reinforcement. the
reinforcement. The beautiful
Not
words.
too many negative ones. And
Too many negative ones, whatever.
Just now,
But you know,
I made it
people,
home to
there are
Arizona.
negative ones when they don't agree with you.
I actually made it to New Mexico.
And she made it to New
I've got to be
Mexico.
at work like in 12 hours. I hope I make it home. But anyway, I'm good. I'm good. I went to see an old friend who's I met while I was a wife and my husband was in the Marine Corps before he transferred to the Army. A really dear friend, and so I spent the last.
You know what that means?
I spent 36 hours there with her, and it helped a lot.
Someone who
So,
put up
and
with help
reading
her to what? She's the one that left the marriage. You see, you got to read between the lines. You got to look
Okay, if he
deeper
sees this, I don't
than what
care
they're saying. You got to see how they're mimicking
girlfriend or whatever she's called.
everything that other people, how other people are recording, because they're looking for an audience. They want to build an audience, and they
just
want
know
to
I've
positive
moved on.
people
I'm moving.
comments
I'm gonna be happy.
over and over about you're great, you're wonderful, blah blah blah. You do better than this,
Keep me in your.
I'll be in
and then no more in a car.
664 miles before I reach there. Looking forward to my new chapter in my life. Putting behind a lot of bad stuff, bad vibes.
Yeah, moving,
And
doing other things.
Or I'm starting over.
18 years of marriage down the drain.
It feels really,
Because she had a little bit of fame on TikTok.
Anyway,
Watched other women who claim to be positively living their lives.
has to offer out there.
Never suggested her husband was
No
abusive.
matter what. So
Never suggested anything like that.
So let me get this straight. Instead of keeping on working on your marriage, you decided to divorce your husband of 18 years at 54 over an argument and believe that you are going to find a better man than your husband. You just can't make this shit up. She just posted this video where you see
Watch
her with
this.
her husband and her niece camping and making
Here's her
jokes
husband.
just a
Ain't
few
that
weeks
great.
ago prior deciding to get a divorce. This proves
Now
that
watch
most
her.
of the issues these women complain about are usually fixable if they have the will
Watch
to
this.
make the marriage work. Instead, they prefer to leave because they think that they can
He
do
has no
better
interest
than their
in
husband.
her anymore.
But when reality hit hard and loneliness settle in, they start to complain and cry.
Yeah, look at that one.
Check it out.
So drinking the Irish whiskey. And don't know.
Irish whiskey and Cheetos. It goes on, dribble. And then here, again, what I was talking about, in the
And
car.
no co-worker is even checking up on her when she is lonely.
How you do.
You know, I think
There
it's
she goes,
funny
in
how
bed.
Proud of how you handle disappointment.
no one
And don't
from work
disappear
has
when you feel
really
it.
checked on me,
No one from work has really checked on me.
except
Keep
for the
the faith and
travelers,
push
a few
through.
of the travelers.
I'm proud
It's kinda
of your
funny.
view.
Whatever the hell that means, travelers. No one from work has checked on me. And she's doing it in bed like all the other ones. They're mimicking everything. And I just had to respond. A year ago, this was posted. I had to respond now. When she looks grandmother old, but preens like she's 21, she never matured. She's stuck in mental high school. That's when the TikTok followers strike. They fuel the fire. You're still a catch. You're still the prom queen. You're still a snow princess. But the truth, she's only a catch for catching a cold. Maybe it's cataracts in the eyes or in the brain. This is only a few of the many videos out there on that page, and I recommend going to that channel to see the full videos. I'm not going to take somebody else's hard work and show it all here, because that would just be ripping them off, and they're using somebody else's content. I'm not doing that. That's what it give you my impression about this kind of topic, because it seems to be an epidemic on TikTok, and then people following each other, doing stuff, following what they're doing, and then getting out there and saying, hey, look how happy I am, while at the same time being miserable after they've left their marriages. And marriage isn't easy. I mean, it can be easy, but it can be pretty mundane, especially after many years, or during the years where you're raising the kids, where they're the focus. And it's just a shame that these people look at the modern world and how society has changed and how younger people are doing things, and you want to put yourself into their place. Well, you don't have the mindset for it. You don't have the cultural background, the societal background to be able to do that. Plus, you get older, you can't go back in time. I don't care how much plastic surgery you get. You can't keep up, no matter how much you try. Anyway, thank you for visiting my channel, and I might make some more of these videos, but go visit that channel. I'll be in the link, as well as that really cute face dancer girl. I want to give credit where credit's due, and they deserve that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again at another time.